Two men, same city, same salary, same age. 10 years later, one of them has built something. A portfolio, a buffer, options. The other one has nothing. Not because he worked less. Not because he was unlucky. Not because the economy was unfair to him specifically. Because he thought about money differently. And he never knew it. This video is not about budgeting. It is not about investing strategies or compound interest formulas. It is about the one thing that determines whether a man builds wealth or spends his entire life wondering why he never did. The way he thinks about money. Not the tactics. The psychology. Stay until the end. Because the shift I'm going to describe in the final section is not complicated. It is simple in a way that makes most people uncomfortable. Because simple means there is no excuse. Most men think the difference between rich and poor is income. It is not. The difference is identity. And identity is the story a man tells himself, quietly, automatically, without realizing he is telling it, about who he is and what he deserves. The man with a poor mindset does not think of himself as poor. He thinks of himself as someone who enjoys life, someone who works hard and deserves to spend what he earns, someone who will start saving when he earns more, someone for whom wealth is something that happens to other people, people with better luck, better connections, better starting points. None of these thoughts feel like poverty. They feel like perspective. They feel like realism. They feel like not being one of those obsessive people who counts every euro. But what they actually are is a set of beliefs that guarantee a specific outcome. Not poverty necessarily, but never wealth. Because wealth is not an accident. It is the result of a man who decided, at some point, consciously or not, that building it was part of who he was. And the man who never made that decision will spend his entire life waiting for conditions that never arrive. The modern world was built to take your money before you know you have it. Not through theft, through desire. Every subscription you forgot you had. Every upgrade that made the old version feel insufficient. Every purchase that felt like a reward for working hard. Every loan that made the thing available before you could actually afford it. The system is not neutral. It is specifically designed to convert your income into someone else's wealth. And the man who does not understand this is not a victim of bad luck. He is a participant in a system he never chose to examine. The man with a poor mindset consumes his future. Every month, a little bit at a time, not dramatically, not in one bad decision, in 100 small ones that each feel completely reasonable. The dinner that was slightly too expensive, the car that was slightly too new, the apartment that was slightly too much, each one justifiable, each one reasonable, each one moving him slightly further from the version of himself that has options. The man with a rich mindset sees the same options. He makes different choices, not because he enjoys less, because he has decided that his future self is worth more than his present comfort. There are 3 specific thoughts that keep most men broke. Not 3 habits. 3 thoughts. Because habits follow thoughts. And until the thought changes, no habit will stick. The first thought: I don't earn enough to save. This thought feels like math. It is not math. It is a decision. The man who earns $2,000 a month and saves nothing will earn $4,000 a month and save nothing, because the lifestyle expands to meet the income. every time, until the decision is made to separate what comes in from what goes out. The amount is irrelevant. The man who saves 50 euros a month on a tight income is building something the man who earns 3 times as much and saves nothing is not. He is building the identity of a man who builds. The second thought, I would rather enjoy life now. This thought positions wealth building as the opposite of enjoyment. It is not. The man who builds wealth does not suffer now, so he can enjoy later. He makes slightly different choices now, so that his options multiply later. The difference between enjoying life and consuming your future is not dramatic. It is the difference between spending everything and spending almost everything. That gap, that small, consistent gap, is where wealth lives. The third thought, wealth is for other people. This is the most dangerous thought of the three, because it is not expressed as a belief. It is expressed as a reading of the room. Look at where I came from. Look at who gets ahead in this world. Look at how the system actually works. This thought does not feel like giving up. It feels like being honest. But it is the single most effective way to guarantee that nothing changes. Because the brain does not pursue what it does not believe is available. And the man who has decided, even quietly, even without words, that wealth is for other people will find evidence of that everywhere and ignore the evidence that contradicts it. If this is landing for you, subscribe right now. Because what I am about to describe is the actual shift, not a list of habits, not a savings plan. The one change in how a man thinks about himself in relation to money that makes every other change possible. Hit subscribe. Stay with us. The man with a rich mindset does not think about money as a goal. He thinks about money as a tool, and that distinction changes everything. The man who wants to be rich is chasing a number. The man who thinks like a builder is asking a different question entirely. Not how much do I have, but what is this producing? He doesn't measure his wealth by what is in his account today. He measures it by what his decisions today are building for the man he will be in 10 years. He thinks in different time units. Not this month. This decade. He also thinks about price differently. Not what does this cost in money? What does this cost in time? Because time is the only currency that cannot be replaced. The car that costs 400 euros a month does not cost 400 euros a month. It costs the hours of your life that produce 400 euros a month. Every month. For years. The man who calculates price in time makes different decisions than the man who calculates it in money. Not because he is more disciplined, because he sees the actual cost. You do not need to earn more. You do not need a financial advisor. You do not need a spreadsheet or a course or a book. You need one shift from the identity of a man who consumes to the identity of a man who builds. That shift doesn't happen through a decision. It happens through repeated action that contradicts the old identity. You save the 50 euros you would have spent, not because 50 euros is going to make you rich, because the man who saves 50 euros when he could have spent it is a different man than the one who spent it. He is a man who builds, and the man who builds in small ways builds in larger ways, because the identity compounds. Not the money, the identity. First, then the money follows. Most men will spend their entire lives waiting to earn enough to start building. The number that feels like enough never arrives. Because it was never about the number. It was about the decision. The decision that the man you are becoming is worth more than the comfort you are choosing right now. The richest men in the world did not start with more money. They started with a different thought about what money was for. That thought is available to you right now. Not when you earn more, not when the timing is better. Now, make the decision. Build the identity. Watch what follows. If this video gave you something, subscribe. This channel is for the men who are serious about building themselves from the ground up. New video every week. Hit the bell. Stay with us. Stay cold. Keep building.